you ready? Let's go. Welcome, everyone. You're now tuned into another amazing edition of Sanya on Air. I'm so excited for this edition at home, which all of you should be staying at home. But we have another great show for you here today on Sanya on Air. I have none other than the uber handsome Mike from Bravo TV's Shahs of Sunset. Mike, how are you? Mike? We have some technical difficulties. Let's see. Mike, can you hear me? Because your screen seems to be on pause. Can you hear me now? We're gonna figure this out. Can you hear me? Hi, Mike.
There we go. I think I'm gonna have to use my phone. My home internet is not working well for some reason.
Oh, I see. I saw like two of you pop up on the screen. I'm like, what's going on with technology? Now you disappeared. What's going on, Mike?
Hold on one second.
Okay. That's okay, just some technical difficulties. But until we get Mike back, I hope you're tuned in to Bravo every Friday night at 8, 9 Central.
Craziness. Okay.
Hey, Mike, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing well, you know, under such circumstances. How are you quarantining in this whole coronavirus pandemic?
You know, I'm having a hard time hearing you.
What about now? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me?
Let me see. I'm gonna connect with you again. Let me hang up and do it again, okay?
Okay.
Sorry.
No problem. So this is what happens. Live show, even if I was in the studio, some things would be happening. I'm kind of sweating. It's nice out in New York City. I can't even go outside and enjoy the nice weather. But like I was saying, until Mike joins us, I hope that you're tuned in to Bravo each and every single Friday, 8, 9 Central, to catch Shahs of Sunset. Amazing show that explores just so much. Mike, are you back? Can you hear me now?
There we go.
There we go. What are you on, your laptop or your phone?
I'm on my phone.
Technology.
Wi-Fi at home. Yeah, it's crazy.
I know my Wi-Fi is going in and out too because so many people are at home on their laptops and their phones. So technology is slow. But how are you quarantining? Tell us about that.
It's crazy. I set up a quasi-home gym. I have the perfect push-up. I have jump rope. What else do I have here? I have that ab machine that you roll on. I have a pull-up bar. So I'm doing a lot of working out, a lot of reading, and a lot of believe it or not, a lot of CBD to keep calm and not lose my freaking, my shit here with having. But you're using the wrong kind, girl. It's all about Asante, by the way.
You about your CBD live, but we're going to get into that a little bit later.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna have one with you.
Really? Okay, let's take you take that and I'll take a drop.
Cheers.
Wait, I didn't get mine open yet. Okay, wait. Cheers, Mike.
What's up?
You mentioned a very important thing, just making sure that you're staying fit and you're exercising. So you're fortunate enough to have a home gym. So how often are you exercising on a daily basis?
I don't have a home gym.
Okay.
I bought a bunch of workout stuff that I use in my bedroom.
Got it.
Because I realized we could do two things. We can make excuses or we can make a difference. And I chose to make a difference in my life.
Yeah.
So many times I would tell myself, one day when I have time, I'm going to do fill in the blank, right? There was a plethora of things I wanted to do. And now I'm being forced to take time out.
I know. I'm
and
a lot of reflection.
As we should, right? As human beings, we wished for this day. It's under the wrong circumstances, but it's here. We can't do anything about it. So might as well just work on ourselves. So I'm reading more than I ever did. I'm working out, I'm meditating because my mind is at ease because I realize either I could be frantic or I could be calm and I'm just allowing myself to just reflect and work past this and become the best version of myself. So when we do come out of this epidemic, that I have, made some strides in the right direction to be the best person I can be.
Gotcha. I've learned a few scary things about myself. What's one thing that you learned about yourself that you really didn't want to admit before?
I have zero patience.
Oh.
And it's the worst trait.
I learned that I'm bossy.
What's up, girl? Your boss, huh? I like that. But yeah, I lack patience because I'm so used to being on the run that I'm never at one place enough time where I could lose my patience, right? It's like, all right, let's get this done, boom, on to the next thing. But now I'm having to marinate in the situation. So having two little kids running around half the time while I'm here at my girlfriend's house, they're constant need of attention. They're bickering with each other. They ask a million questions, and I'm trying to get work done. It's like,
right.
Breathe, and it's a work in progress.
It is.
I'll get there.
I don't feel bad for anyone who has small children. I was once there. My daughter's 25. So all of that, I don't even have to deal with anymore. My hat goes off to you and your patience.
Thank you. I'm trying. I don't have it. I'm working on it.
And I'm working on my business.
Yes. Don't be so bossy, girl.
I'm trying. I can't help it. It's the Brooklyn in me. It's the Leo in me. I just can't help it.
So you're in New York?
Yes, I'm in Brooklyn, New York, born and raised.
What's up with my New Yorkers not staying their asses home?
I'm trying to figure that out too, Mike. So when you find that out, you let me know because they're not staying home. I go, outside just to run a quick errand to the pharmacy or to the supermarket, and so many people are still walking outside without masks or without any gloves. It's crazy.
Yo, and I tell you something. I love my New Yorkers. I love New York. It's one of my favorite cities.
Okay.
And, you guys keep on getting tested. And it's true what they say. If you can make it here, you can make it anywhere. And New York keeps, with different tests of life. And you guys keep coming out and like, all right, we handled that one. But this is something really serious. And I hope that New York gets it together. I know it's hard. I'm losing my mind too. But if we stay home, we can put this to rest and we can, move on with our lives. But I hate to see it. Every day I wake up, I'm seeing Cuomo on TV talking about how he needs more respirators, and there's more and more people that are getting hit with this horrible virus, and it makes me sad. I hope that we can get it under wraps soon.
I know, me too. And I'm just trying not to develop, higher levels of anxiety. I know that everyone will come out of this with some form of PTSD, but I'm trying my best to kind of not tune into the news every single hour, but still staying updated with what's going on. But it can be very anxiety driven. So, my prayers go out to you and your girlfriend and your stepchildren and your entire family. But let's talk about this show, Mike, because I've been tuned in to Shahs of Sunset, season 1, episode 1. We're now in season 8. I'm a fan. I must say.
Thank you.
But
Thank you.
for those who haven't watched Shahs of Sunset, which they should, I'm really glad that it explores themes that relates to every single nationality. Your social circle, relationships, careers, and family. So let's talk about, how did you become a part of the show?
It's funny. I was living in the Hollywood Hills at the time, off of Sunset. And I remember I was driving home in my sports car. And, it's a windy hill. So I'm about to gun it up the hill. And I hear, Mike! And it's my old friend, Sammy, that I hadn't seen in years. I mean, we used to be playboys. So, we'd be at the clubs. And we had dated girls that knew each other and stuff. So we were acquainted with each other. And he was one of my boys. He's a good guy. And he's like, come back. I want to talk to you. And I come back. He's like, hey, have you heard about the show that they're casting for? It's called the Shahs of Sunset. And I had heard about it. A lot of my homies were going to be on it. A couple of girls I knew that were going to be on it. I mean, you have to understand, in Beverly Hills, it's a very especially being Iranian, it's a very small, tight-knit group. And I'm like, yeah, I heard about it, but I want nothing to do with that. I like being low-key and not anyone knowing about my life. A few days later, I get a call from one of the producers on the show. Hey, man, I heard about you through Sammy. He says you're an awesome guy, blah, blah, blah. I want to sit down with you. It's like, no, thank you. I'm not interested. Click. This went on for a few days. He would call me every day, right? Like for I shouldn't say few, it was several days, like a week. Finally get a call from Ryan Seacrest. It's like, hey, man, I'm producing the show. You saw what we did with the Kardashians. I think it's a good idea if you come on board. A lot of your friends are actually going to be on the show. So after you get a call from Ryan Seacrest and seeing what he's done, his pedigree of what he's done for other shows, it's like, all right, this is cool. So one thing led to another. I went to a group meeting where they had us all together in a home in the hills. And I was like, oh, my God, it's Reza, it's MJ, Asa. You know, it was like all my homies. I was like, okay, this could be fun.
Right.
And here we are, 8 years later. An idea that I was going to try to turn down.
Season 8, drama-filled. But every season there's some sort of, dramatic storyline. But this season, oh, my gosh, it really takes the cake. And it really helped me just really think about relationships with my friends and the friendship code. So let me ask you a question, okay? So how would you handle if someone told you something about your girlfriend, right? Because we saw where MJ's husband, he went and trashed Reza's landscaping. Now, I don't know if I would have gone to that extreme, but if someone had spoken to your girlfriend and about your girlfriend in that manner, how would you have handled it?
I told you I have no patience, and I definitely don't have any patience for anyone talking shit or being disrespectful to someone I'm dating, let alone someone I'm married to. So do I condone violence? Absolutely not. But it's a G code, right? We're men. We have a little bit of thug in us. Right? Yeah. So I get why he did what he did, right? He was angry. Tommy was sticking up for his woman. And I knew that was going to happen. That's why I was like, no, don't call him, because her anxiety level, her anger level, her level of disrespect and hurt was through the roof. And now she is calling her husband, and he could sense it in her voice. Oh my God, what's happening, right? And his first reaction was, okay, I'm going to fight for my woman's honor. And I don't think he wanted to hurt Reza or Tommy, Reza or Adam. That's why he called, to make sure that they're not home. But he still took it too far. He did something he shouldn't have done, but his reasoning was okay with me. I understand. You're protecting somebody, but being verbal about it is one thing, but going to someone's house and trying to destroy their property is another. So it's cool what you did. It's cool why you did it, but it's not cool what you did.
True. And just correct me if I'm wrong. Tommy's from New York City, right? Is he from the Bronx?
He's from Queens.
Queens, it's the same thing. So you got to give us New Yorkers a little, pass. We can be a little volatile, sometimes.
I like Tommy. He's loud. He's aggressive. But he's also got, a big heart. He loves MJ to death. He loves his son to death. And, he had almost lost his wife in what was supposed to be the happiest moment of his life.
Yeah, that was
so when MJ's best friend decides to air out dirty laundry and say those horrific things about her, I mean, I can understand why he did what he did.
Yeah, I can understand too. Sometimes our actions, we do it and then we think about it and we're like, oh, we should have done that. But I'm glad that you as friends, you were able to bring it back full circle. But, I was questioning a little bit because you were like the barometer of the moral compass and just bringing everyone back and putting everyone on blast as well. But when Nimra was telling you about how you were acting in relationships in the past, you didn't handle that too well. So how is it okay for you to tell your friends about themselves, but no one can tell you about you?
Let me correct you. So if someone's telling me how I am today, I'll take that with stride. Be like, you know what, you're right. I was being a jerk. I was being fill in the blank, whatever you're saying about me. But to judge me on my past doesn't make me who I am today, right? It's helped mold me, but that doesn't mean I'm still that person. So he was telling me about something that happened 4 years ago when I had been in a relationship with my ex-wife and I got divorced and we had some issues with each other. That doesn't mean that that's going to duplicate in my relationship today. So when Nemo was telling me how he doesn't understand how Paulina would ever allow me around her kid, how does he know I'm around children, A? And how I'm not ready to be a certain person. He doesn't know that. He doesn't know how I am with my relationships, but he was judging me on what he saw in my past. But with MJ and Reza, I'm putting them on blast about how they're acting today as 40-something-year-old grown ass men and women, right? Your husband was accused of playing naked Jenga. You said something to MJ you shouldn't have said. Put her medical records on blast. That's between you and MJ. MJ's husband's gonna get involved and retaliate, right? And then MJ saying those things and sending Ali to start these accusations with Reza. That's fucked up.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Yeah.
You hear something, hit up your homie. Yo, Reza, I heard these things about you. Ali's coming after you. Beware. You know?
Yeah. And that's why I'm telling you, I really appreciated how this season explored friendship code. Because I know me as a friend, no one can come to me and tell me anything about my friend. I'm going to automatically shut down that conversation. I think the conversation got too far. And what is her name? Destiney. Destiney Rose? Destiney is her name?
Yeah.
I just think that she should have shut down the conversation instead of, calling people on the phone and preparing them for what was about to be said. And I'm glad that she finally owned it, because you can tell both she and MJ didn't want to own it at first, but you pushed them to own it, and I really appreciate that.
And I want the world to understand. Look, I'm a Libra. I love things to be harmonious and balanced. I love everyone to love each other. That's the kind of stuff I like. I hate drama. I hate fighting.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can tell. But when I have one of my homies calling me and telling me, hey man, and literally like MJ, you're afraid of Reza and you're siding with him and you're not a real friend to me. I dislike you and all this other nonsense, that I'm toning down for this conversation between us, because she talked a lot of shit.
Yeah. And
then the next call is from Reza telling me, hey man, you're on MJ's side and you're not being a real friend. And I'm caught in the middle, like, nah, I'm right in the middle. And because I'm getting those calls that the world doesn't see, they think I'm trying to get involved in someone else's business. I don't want to be involved in the drama. Leave me out of it. I got my own shit to worry about.
Yeah.
But when they're both coming at me, I'm like, okay, if I'm going to get beaten up over this, I'm going to get to the bottom of it so that you guys, MJ and Reza, and the rest of the crew can see who is really at fault, so that they can take the blame instead of trying to put it on me and project their issues onto me.
Well, everyone needs a friend like that. So I'm glad that you are that type of friend to your friends. Well, let's just talk about your past relationships. I know that you are no longer married to Jessica and you're exploring a new relationship that seems amazing, by the way. So kudos to you.
Thank you.
Do you still speak to your ex-wife?
Not really. Once in a while. We're cordial with each other. We spent almost a decade in each other's lives. So, we went on our first date on the show. We got engaged on the show. We got married on the show. So we had a lot of history with each other. But she's moved on with her life, and thank God, she's been blessed in many ways, and she's living her life to the fullest. And my life has taken its own journey, and here I am today, a better man because of the things I learned from Jessica in our past relationship.
And that was my next question. So, when a relationship ends, you are supposed to learn something about yourself to make you more successful in your next relationship.
Sure.
What did you learn about yourself in that relationship?
Man, so much. I although I was in my 30s, I wasn't mentally prepared to be a husband. So I didn't cherish the relationship like I should. I wasn't patient. Talking about being impatient, I was even worse then. I'm becoming better as time is progressing. We had a lot of issues, and I didn't know how to handle them. So there was a lot of fighting. There was a lot of sleeping in separate rooms. There was a lot of one of us leaving the house and slamming the door. And, eventually that tarnishes a relationship.
Yeah.
Right. And I didn't realize that my actions would lead to one day being divorced because I thought I was invincible. I was like, no, people fight. That's what that's what happens. And we'll either get through it or we won't. But the idea of divorce, although it was talked about, was never an option in either one of our heads. So we would just threaten each other with it. So I learned from those mistakes. I learned to communicate. I learned to be a better partner. I learned that the happier you are as my partner, the happier I will be.
Yeah, so true.
Right? Because so I've grown. I've become, thank God, finally at 41, I've become mature. Right? And I realized, don't be in a relationship unless you want to be in it wholeheartedly, 100%, and be the best person you could be for that other person. So I took on, it's very challenging to date someone with children. Right? I treat them like they're my own children, but they're not.
Right.
But I love them. I cherish them. I kiss and hug them. I'm proud of the people that they're becoming. And I would not be in this situation. I would never have even thought of being in this situation unless it was someone like Paulina, who I adore so much, and I'm willing to take on these challenges and say, okay, this is my calling. This is what I was meant to be and where I was meant to be. So I'm proud of myself. And I'm proud of the place I am now.
So, there are other men who may be in the same situation as you, dating someone who has children. What type of advice would you give to a man who is entering a relationship with a woman who already has children to make the situation just a little bit more easy and comfortable?
Let me take it a step further. If a man or a woman is deciding to get into a relationship with a person who has children, I think they should take time to get to know each other well, make sure that the relationship is stable before either one of them meet that person's children.
So how long before you met her children?
Almost a year.
I believe almost in that.
Yeah, almost a year. Not because I didn't want to. She'd send me videos of them, pictures, and I'd already fallen in love with them because I'm like, oh my God, her son is so beautiful, her daughter is so cute. Oh my! And then I was preparing myself, because we do things as adults we don't even realize it because we're not cognitive to it, like cursing. I would curse all the time. Now I've toned that down. I watched YouTube's videos. I was reading books about children because it's like, what am I getting myself involved in? And then I had to overcome a lot of fears because the biggest fear I think of a step parent, which I'm not there yet, but I'm close.
Right.
Is the resentment you'll get one day from those children because they might turn around and say, hey, you're not my dad. You can't tell me what to do.
Right.
Right. And I have that fear still inside of me. And I tell them both, I'm not your dad. You have an amazing father. I'm just here to be a positive role model in your life. And I'm dating your mom, and I love your mom, and I love you guys. So I'm going at it like not as a parent, but as a friend who also disciplines and is kind of like a parental figure. But I never would call myself that. It's like, we're friends. Let's talk. Let's understand things. So we have a good relationship.
Got you. Now let's get back to let's talk about your career a little bit, because unfortunately, reality television or just television or film in general, it doesn't really give you the totality of a person. And if we just went by what we saw on Shahs of Sunset, it really looks like you don't work. But I know that you do. Can you just please tell people what it is that you do career-wise?
Girl, I'm Persian and I'm Jewish. It's in our blood. You know what I mean? Coming out the womb, we're talking about hustling and making money. So people see different career. They call it career paths, but I call it opportunities. If I could take $100 and turn it to $1,000, not hurt anybody, make a little bit of a difference in my life, possibly in other people's lives, I'm all about it. It doesn't mean that's going to be my life path and my career for the rest of my life. I had an opportunity. I jumped on it, right? So today where I stand, I am developing a apartment building in Hollywood, East Hollywood. It's going to be the newest, nicest building on the block. I bought the property 10 plus years ago with the idea of just collecting cash flow. Then the house next door came on the market, snatched that up. So not with the ideas of developing. I was just like, okay, I'm going to dominate this entire block because I like it. I see where how it's, the flow is coming towards this area of town, right? People are getting priced out of living in Beverly Hills. Then they go to West Hollywood, then they go to Hollywood, then they go to East Hollywood, then so far and so forth, right? So I saw that happening. I saw the trend and I jumped on it. And I remember showing the property to my parents and they laughed at me. They're like, you want to buy this? You're crazy. You're going to lose our money. And because they were my investors, right? At that time, because I had to buy the property cash. So we each got involved. Me, my mother, my father, and my brothers, we each put up our cash and bought this property. So now I'm developing 24 units. It's an expensive project. I'm there every day. And I'm really excited to say that even in today's pandemic and quarantine, the mayor of Los Angeles has said it's one of the necessary businesses is to keep developing because we have a housing shortage in California. There's more people moving here than there's homes to provide.
Yeah,
so
I just bought property about 2 years ago in San Diego. So there's
I love San Diego.
A big property boom going on in California.
Absolutely. So we're employing 50 people now that are being able to feed their families. I provide masks. I provide hand sanitizer, gloves. We implement the 6-foot rule. If someone's not wearing a mask, I make sure that we police that, because it gets uncomfortable sometimes. So we got that going on, and I got my my baby, my newest project, which is my CBD pills. It's called Au Santé, which means to health in French. And we have gummies and drops and capsules, and a wide line of wellness products that we've formulated, and people use it. They love it, and we're educating people on CBD. A lot of people think it's cannabis, and it's a derivative of cannabis, but it doesn't get you high.
Right.
It has all the amazing qualities that cannabis has, but it doesn't make you feel like you're stoned. Yeah. So now people are getting educated. My grandmother is like 80 something years old, the love of my life. I'm like, Elder John, take this. And she's like, no, I don't want to get high. I was like, just let me put some of this in your coffee. Taste it. And it allows her not to feel some of the pain she felt, which happens with us getting older. But it's not just for older people. I take this to sleep. I take it to just feel good and not have anxiety, especially in times like this where we're confined to such a small space. So those are my 2 major projects. I'm really excited about it. And, I'm a hustler. I like to make money.
In New York, we love a good old hustler. So I'm not that. But just tell us, where can we purchase your wellness products? Because they sound amazing. Where can we go get it?
Thank you. So it's called Au Santé, which is AU, and then dash Santé, which is SANTE.com. Or if you go to my Instagram page, it's in my bio, and we have a lot of amazing products. We have a cognitive pill for your brain. We have a joint formula. We have testosterone booster. We have a keto pill for a lot of people who are looking to diet and exercise. And we have our line of CBD products. All amazing, all organic, all locally grown.
Nice.
So it's none of this stuff is coming from China like other companies. We already know what's coming from China, so we don't want nothing else to come from there to here that could possibly damage us, right?
Yeah.
And our products are all local and great stuff at an affordable price. And I'm really excited about it.
Yeah, you have a full line. It seems like you have a whole lot of options that people can choose from. So I'm really going to encourage everyone to support your wellness line. But let's just talk about the show really quick before we wrap up this conversation.
Absolutely.
So a reunion. What's going on? Is there a reunion that's going to be scheduled?
Before this horrible epidemic started, they were talking about tentatively it happening this month. But now, because of the social distancing and the virus that's spreading, we are on a to be determined schedule. And I'm thinking it'll probably be a Zoom reunion instead. But let me tell you, we still have a few more episodes to go. And we have we're still climbing to the top of this mountain.
Really? It hasn't gotten there yet? Because it seems like,
I got to take off my hat for that one.
I'll be tuned in.
This next week's episode, Destiney and Ali, which is the culprit, get together.
Right.
That's going to be explosive. It's my girl's birthday. We take a beautiful trip. And you see MJ and Reza face to face again. Beautiful scenery, lots of drama, a lot of new stories unfolding. This next episode is going to be wild, and it just gets crazier until the reunion when we finally all get together and, literally be face to face and be like, yo, what's up? You had all that shit to say when the cameras were rolling and we weren't around. What are you going to say now to my face?
So let me ask you.
We're going to get New York up in here.
Get New York, get Brooklyn, because that's different. So
we're going to get Biggie up in here.
If the reunion were to happen, who do you have words for? Because a lot has happened. Who would you want to speak directly to and give them that New York, Brooklyn attitude?
I'll be honest, everyone's getting a piece of Mike because how dare you get mad at me and act like I'm getting involved in your business when you're dragging me into this mess. I don't want to be involved in this shit. I want to have fun.
It's
I want to party, pop champagne, eat some caviar, enjoy ourselves. And we are talking about naked Jenga and crazy shit like abortions and horrific things that are hurting each other.
Yeah.
We're a group of friends. We're not enemies.
Right.
What's up?
It's too short. Time is too short. So.
And listen, you got to get to the root of the problem because you got to chop its head off.
You sure?
So you're gonna find out who really started this whole problem.
Really? Well, I can't wait, and I'll be tuned in. I'm crossing my fingers and hoping that a reunion happens. I'm going to be going to the website, so I'm definitely going to support and purchase a few items. I'm going to call my friends home and tell them to do the same. Mike, you stay amazingly you. Much success to you. And what is her name? Paulina, correct?
Paulina, yeah, that's my boo.
Beautiful. You two are beautiful together.
Thank you.
And keep doing amazing work. And I'll be tuned in each and every single week to Bravo's Shahs of Sunset. Take care.
Thank you, love.
Bye-bye.
Bye.